Ó, ó, o prefeito é desesperado, ó. Esse de short vermelho é o prefeito.
De bote, nadando, não tem o que fazer, pô. Ó. Olha outro carro lá.
Flooding hit Espírito Santo especially hard, the fire department said on Sunday.
Prefeito, ó, não para de chorar, estava debaixo da água. É uma coisa fora do normal.
Ô prima, infelizmente a situação é essa aqui, ó. O pessoal do Bruno aqui tá em cima do telhado.
Alerta vermelho de grande perigo para a possibilidade de chuvas intensas na região.
Water from the storm reached the roofs of cars in parts of Espírito Santo, the city's main thoroughfare.
O jornal está recebendo vídeos de várias cidades. Essa daqui é Apiacá. Essa também
Olha isso. Olha isso. Os bombeiros estão ali dentro ali agarrados. Vão fazer o quê?
Mayor Espírito Santo designated the situation as an emergency and urged people to stay home for their own safety and to avoid disrupting rescue and recovery efforts.
O Instituto Nacional de Meteorologia, o IMET, emitiu...
O pessoal do Bruno na Sul. A mãe do Sami morreu e a cuidadora. Eles já falaram. Meninas, olha lá. O Bruno na Sul conseguiu subir no telhado agora.
Fica mais perto da porta. Que desce.
Dozens of bus lines were closed and several stations were closed due to water inundating the routes.
Sudeste do Brasil. É o que está acontecendo. Nesse momento, o centro de Alfredo Chaves encontra-se...
A gente estava aqui doido pedindo ajuda. Ninguém vem ajudar. Olha essa correnteza também.
Some parts of the city received a month's worth of rainfall in March in just 24 hours. A report from firefighters showed they had responded to 200 flood-related incidents.
As casas com 2 pavimentos já estão...
Isso com a gente. O latão do Merrão. Lá na sua casa, tá no...
One of the worst affected neighborhoods, water flooded the basement of city hospitals' offices and businesses were affected.
A praça de Mimoso, lá embaixo. O Gilberto, a gente fez um buraco na parede.
Tomado pelas águas. Segundo o Pedro Lorenzini, que reside em Alfredo Chaves, a chuva por lá...
A national agency that monitors natural disasters said there was a high risk of landslides in towns around Espírito Santo State.
Freire, Jerônimo Monteiro, Cachoeiro de Itapemirim, Vargem Alta, Presidente...
Aqui ele conseguiu subir. O posto de saúde já está no segundo andar já, ó.
At least 8 people died in Rio de Janeiro state in landslides and flooding caused by heavy rain on Thursday, Brazilian authorities said.
Olha isso, gente. Olha isso.
Como que desce?
Olha só, presbiteriana. Acabou, tá?
A 6-year-old child was listed as missing in the rural town of Mendes.
Eu tô no 3º pavimento, tem muitas casas que só tem um pavimento e a maioria tem 2.
Segundo andar já, tá vendo? O pessoal ali da Rizan, tudo em cima ali do telhado, daquela feirinha.
The state government warned that there was still a high possibility of more flooding and landslides in urban areas, including in the city of Espírito Santo.
Aqui, ó, a cuidadora tá ali, tadinha, no telhado.
Isso aqui, amiga, lá no final é a praça de Mimoso. A praça.
Local media reported several cases of desperate residents working as emergency rescue teams in an attempt to save lives. Firefighters and police have yet to reach some of the worst-hit areas. Severe thunderstorms dropped up to 4 inches 100 millimeters of rain a day in Brazil starting March 23rd. according to Brazil's National Meteorological Institute,
Lá tá no
INMET.
segundo andar, pelo que a gente
Heavy
consegue
rain,
ver.
lightning, and wind continued in Espírito Santo for several days. Agudo's administration declared a state of emergency on March 24th due to heavy flooding and damage to roads and rice fields in the city. Flooding continues throughout the city of Espírito Santo. The river also overflowed on March 23rd, flooding the city streets. A series of weather events hit southern Brazil since March 2024, when a winter storm brought heavy rain to Espírito Santo. In March, deadly flash floods hit Espírito Santo and affected more than 300,000 people in the state. March is also a very wet month in Brazil. Average rainfall in March exceeds 12 inches, 300 millimeters, in 2024 in Espírito Santo.
Deve ter sem bateria.
Heavy rains that month
não tem
slowed
energia,
Espírito Santo's
posto de
soybean
saúde
planting.
aqui, ó.
Although Brazil experiences unusually high rainfall, the northern regions of the country experience abnormally dry conditions. Water levels in Espírito Santo reached a record low in March 2024. Attributed the increase in the intensity and frequency of rainfall in southern regions and dry weather in northern regions, mainly to El Niño, and the agency expects this trend to continue until March 2024.
Não sei se você...
Neighborhoods in Espírito Santo state remained flooded on Sunday, more than a day after
Ó o
heavy
portão,
rain.
que doideira.
Torrential
Mano, a
rains
água tá
wreaked
muito
havoc
forte,
over the
viado.
weekend, flooding residents' homes and hospitals in the city of Espírito Santo. Several people drowned and died due to flash floods. Cities across the state still have a high risk of landslides. These floods had a particularly devastating impact on the northern outskirts of Espírito Santo. Residents waded through waist-high water on Sunday to navigate the streets of Espírito Santo. Others climbed onto rooftops and called for help as helicopters flew overhead. Espírito Santo firefighting military personnel were deployed over the weekend and used ambulances, boats, drones, and airplanes to rescue residents and monitor the affected areas. Authorities intervened in more than 200 incidents due to flooding across the state, according to a statement from Espírito Santo's civil defense. The mayor on Sunday declared a state of emergency and urged people not to force their way through flooded areas and to avoid interfering with rescue and recovery efforts.
E os
Moderate to heavy rain, lightning, and wind gusts are expected Monday afternoon. Civil defense advised people not to swim in lakes or the sea, and when at home, stay away from electrical outlets, windows, and metal doors. Flooding caused power outages that were resolved on Sunday, but all hospital appointments have been delayed.
internos aqui, ó. Gente em cima do telhado, a cuidadora tá em cima do telhado. E os internos. Estão ali dentro, boiando. É só a misericórdia, ninguém chega pra salvar a gente.